Hello and welcome to Eyes on Research, the podcast that digests the latest scientific innovations in eye research using simple and understandable terms. I am your host, Thales Guimarães, medical doctor and clinician scientist at Moorfields Eye Hospital. Hello, as usual, it is a great pleasure to have you here with me this week. Happy Halloween, everyone, by the way, and I hope you had a lot of treats and some quality family time as well. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of smart contact lenses. Now, these time wonders are not just about vision, right? They are also about innovation, health, and the future. Smart contact lenses are a fascinating area of technological innovation with the potential to revolutionize both vision correction but also various aspects of healthcare and daily life. But how so, right? Well, let's dive right in. To start, let's discuss how the smart contact lenses are changing the landscape of vision correction. As we would all expect, contact lenses are typically used for vision correction. That's how they have been for a long time. Most of us who wear glasses have tried contact lenses at least once in our lives. Traditional contact lenses have been a reliable solution for years, right? And they can give a vision that sometimes glasses don't. But smart contact lenses are set to take that to a whole new level. Well, smart contact lenses go beyond the traditional contact lenses by incorporating very small sensors and tiny electronics inside. For example, in the future, they could adapt their focus to different distances or automatically adjust for changing lighting conditions, providing a more comfortable and versatile vision correction experience. And by the way, is that crazy? That's similar to what a cell phone camera does these days, right? So we're not that far away from that. That's the promise of smart contact lenses. Imagine how applicable this would be, for example, for military uses even, right? It has the potential to completely overtake military goggles, for example, right? But guys, it doesn't stop there. These lenses have a broader role to play than just vision correction. Hear me out. These lenses can be equipped with sensors to monitor health metrics. One prominent application, for example, is glucose monitoring for people with diabetes. Now, there has been a lot of groups looking into this quite recently. Remember that tears are a source of physiological information, right? And it pretty much mirrors the health state of an individual by expressing different concentrations of, for example, vitamins, enzymes, salts, proteins, metabolites, right? Smart contact lenses can measure glucose level in tears, eliminating the need, for example, for people with diabetes to have those painful finger pricks. In addition, they could track other health markers like hydration, lactate, electrolyte levels, providing valuable real time health data. Imagine a future where this is integrated with your smartphone and can track data in real time. Think of the potential that something like this has to athletes, right? For instance. And by the way, is that crazy? You guys may have seen that the smart glasses that Apple and other companies are proposing have something which is quite cool, right? You can use your some kind of virtual reality and some kind of augmented reality and navigate as you would on your smartphone, right? Contact lenses would be the next step to this, right? And given its contact with the lacrimal film, it may allow us to indeed track health markers. How cool is that? Let's also talk about other applications in the eye, and this is a major one, right? You may have heard of glaucoma, or you may have a friend or the father of your friend has glaucoma, or perhaps you have a relative with glaucoma, or you may even have that yourself. It is the leading cause of irreversible blindness worldwide, the leading cause. It is often called the silent thief of sight as it gradually steals vision, right, without early warning signs or pain. Currently, the only intervention that we have to delay glaucoma progression is to lower the intraocular pressure of eyes which are under sometimes ocular hypertension, or sometimes even have a normal pressure. And thereby, this would minimize the damage to the optic nerve. In other words, vision loss. It would minimize the constriction of the visual fields. Despite all the advances we had in the field of glaucoma, the disease in some patients is still invariably progress, and variations in intraocular pressure may account for those, right? Hidden peaks of pressure during the day, high variations in the pressure during the day. So, contact lenses that are worn daily can give doctors the tools to optimize the treatment, right? And manage glaucoma better. It may show some of those peaks, it may show some of that variation, and doctors will be able to adjust the treatment based on the patient. That's a prime example of personalized medicine. And by the way, there are already FDA approved devices, right? So again, that's not futuristic sci fi, but pretty much the present. What about drug delivery? Yes, contact lenses can be used for drug delivery as well, with many research groups evaluating its use for on demand drug delivery. And for instance, coming back to glaucoma, because that's a major one, right? These contact lenses would be able to continuously deliver medication to reduce the intraocular pressure. It may also be able to continuously deliver steroids, for example, for patients with inflammation in their eye, long-term inflammation, right? Such as uveitis and those kind of things. This circumvents all the non-adherence issues when patients do not use the drops regularly. But it doesn't stop there, my friends. These lenses have an even broader role to play. Now, let's talk about a concept that's right out of science fiction. Some smart contact lenses are designed to enable augmented reality experiences. By integrating tiny displays and sensors, they can overlay digital information onto your field of vision. This could have applications in gaming, navigation, or providing contextual information in various situations. And they could eventually change the way that we interact with our surroundings, with the world. Augmented reality and virtual reality have been used in healthcare for decades, right? This is not new. And their versatility, coupled with rapid advancements in imaging processing techniques as well as computational power, right, will improve its capabilities and lead to the more diffuse implementation of these devices, right? Because that's one of the things. It's not at the point where we can actually implement this in our clinical practices. A systematic review published in the beginning of this year, January 2023, found promising results. And in case you're new to this podcast and does not know what this is, a systematic review is amongst the strongest type of evidence that can be provided in the scientific field, as you get multiple studies, multiple randomized controlled trials, and all available evidence, and systematically and critically appraise those, synthesizing everything ever published in that topic. So it's quite strong evidence indeed. And apologies for drifting away. So coming back to that, a systematic review which was published earlier this year found variable levels of visual field expansion and visual acuity improvement across studies using an assortment of head-mounted displays, right? These displays that you put in your head, that you mount in your head. To achieve these improvements, the visual scene can be essentially simplified using contrast, enhanced overlays, or by removing cluttering objects, minified to fit the residual vision, or magnified with variable digital zoom. So all of these already exist, okay? So how about getting those glasses, getting those goggles, and putting that into contact lenses? How about augmented reality contact lenses? Although theoretically it's merely an extension of a concept of augmented reality spectacles, this is a technically difficult goal. In 2015, a company named Mojo Vision started the development of a prototype smart contact lenses, right? The company implied that this would eventually replace smartphones, smartwatches, and even virtual reality headsets. So naturally, we were all very excited. This lens has a super high resolution of 14,000 pixels per inch, micro LED display, and ARM processor, continuous eye tracking via accelerometers, gyroscopes, and magnetometers, medical grade batteries, all with an eye control user interface. It was first successfully tested in 2022. However, in January 2023, in the beginning of this year as well, close to the time where the systematic review was published that we just discussed, this company announced that it would be decelerating the world of the Mojo lens due to adverse economic conditions, which, in our research world essentially means lack of funding, lack of interest. This is important because it gives us another example on how translating biomedical research into clinical settings can be a long, daunting, and sometimes drawn out process, interrupted by several obstacles, right, that arise from the actions of a multitude of stakeholders, regulators, funders, policymakers. Unfortunately, that's the reality that we have to accept. While these advances or these advancements are incredibly promising, it's important to acknowledge the challenges that we have as well and all the ongoing research in this field. Despite their promise, smart contact lenses indeed face significant challenges. For instance, ensuring comfort and safety for the wearer is a top priority. Moreover, there are issues related to power sources, data transmission, long-term biocompatibility, so these all need to be addressed. Similarly, the processors inside the lenses need to be small and powerful enough to allow for a smooth, lag-free use. Regulatory approval and mass production of these are also additional hurdles to overcome, because imagine something like this gets to the market and is just so expensive, right, that no one can buy it. That's the recipe for a failed business, right? It just doesn't work. Also, because the virtual reality and artificial reality are somewhat of new fields that are now being applied to ophthalmology, there is insecurity, right, from stakeholders and funders, and you can't blame them due to how novel and unique these devices are. Research and development in this field are in full swing, with various companies and institutions working tirelessly to bring this innovation to life. These projects involve collaborations between experts in optics, electronics, healthcare, and material science. Some studies are exploring new materials to enhance the biocompatibility of these contact lenses, while you have other groups focusing on the processor and the power source, like for example miniature batteries, right? Others are exploring integrations with, for example, wireless circuits, glucose sensors, displays, apps, and those kind of things. So, I think the topic of smart contact lenses provides a brief glimpse into the intersection of technology and healthcare, where innovation is enhancing both vision correction and overall health monitoring. It's a very promising field, one of which we hope to see many advances in the next decade. I myself am very, very excited. Sometimes when I see patients with genetic diseases in the eye that are most untreatable, what I tell most of my patients with inherited retinal diseases, right, is that technology is likely going to catch up to the biological field, right? Meaning that it is likely that we are closer for technology to be able to help them than the new drugs. That's because these smart contact lenses with artificial intelligence, for instance, can be widely used and are not disease or gene specific, right? So, for example, we hope these devices will be generalizable to all patients with visual field constriction and loss of central vision. Think that this could be used for glaucoma, which causes tunnel vision, right, which causes constriction of the visual field, but it can also be used in patients with retinitis pigmentosa, which also causes constriction of the visual fields. How cool is that, and how promising is that? So, what does the future hold for smart contact lenses? Honestly, we can only imagine the vast possibilities, and they do seem limitless. From improved vision correction to revolutionizing healthcare, introducing us to things that we have discussed, like augmented reality experiences, and overcoming various challenges, the future is indeed bright. That's a wrap for today's episode of Eyes on Research. Thank you for joining us in exploring the fascinating world of smart contact lenses. If you like what we do, don't forget to subscribe, like this episode, and share with your friends and families to stay tuned for more in-depth insights into the world of ocular research. Also, feel free to access our website www.eyesonresearch.org, where you have ways to support the show in case you like what we do. We also have social media accounts in the handle at Eyes on Research. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, we have it. We post short videos there all the time, so do give it a check. Until next time, and as they say, keep your eyes on research. Bye bye.